Patrick Mahomes is on his way to making history. The 25-year-old quarterback has already won an MVP award and the Super Bowl. He finished his fourth NFL season atop the all-time leaderboard in 3 categories: passing yards per game, quarterback rating, and net yards per pass attempt. When all is said and done, Mahomes could probably claim the title of the GOAT. The league's rising star continues to raise the bar both on and off the field. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is the gift that keeps on giving. That's according to analysts. Every time you think his dominance in the sport has been thoroughly examined, some new aspect emerges that ends up needing further investigation.
Only 4 in the end. They disguise it. And Mahomes looking to escape, throwing on the run.
It's well known that Mahomes is on a pace to break nearly every statistical record relevant to quarterbacks. The phrase, "no one but Mahomes," isn't just a cliche. After all, Todd McShay now scouts the position differently because of the Chiefs quarterback. He can usually tell if a ball will be completed by what happens before it leaves the quarterback's hand. And so much of Mahomes' tape from his Texas Tech days featured the mechanics of an incompletion. But here's the thing, he was still making these passes on time. McShay says he's been scouting quarterbacks for the NFL draft since 1999, and he's never seen such a consistent success. That too from a quarterback with such sloppy mechanics. Because of that vast difference, the TV analyst says he's never had a more difficult QB evaluation than Mahomes' 2017 scouting report.
It's going to be a rough night. Fortunately, it's one of our steady camps, so everything's just fine. 3rd and 1, and look at Mahomes.
Mahomes' evaluation from all those years ago and his greatness, despite the mechanics, is still meaningful to him today. Why? Because it fundamentally altered his approach to scouting quarterbacks for the draft. If you've been following the NFL for the past 4 years, you would know that not much has changed with Mahomes. He's one of the league's best quarterbacks despite rarely throwing with the mechanics that have been associated with pro success. I mean, the guy makes unbelievable throws that seem impossible, and he does it all the time. Mahomes has proved that the results are ultimately what matters, regardless of whether the prototypical quarterback mechanics are there. There's another reason that Mahomes is head and shoulders above every other quarterback. It's something that ties into everything else. How long can he hold onto the ball before throwing without taking sacks? According to Sports Radar, Mahomes' average time to throw on 3rd down is 3.16 seconds. Only Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield have times faster than that in the league. Now, here's the difference between Mahomes and those quarterbacks. He was sacked on only 5.1% of 3rd down attempts. Meanwhile, Rodgers, Allen, and Mayfield all had 11%, 11.4%, and 9.1% respectively. On 3rd down, Mahomes' sack rate is one of the lowest in the league. It's more in line with quarterbacks who frequently scramble or get rid of the ball quickly.
Nice patience, and he's free. Rashad White, one man to beat, and he shoves him down.
In other words, Mahomes gives his receivers the most time to get open while not costing his team sacks in the process. The in-depth statistics show that Mahomes' dominance on 3rd down has not been a fluke. It's the result of having a quarterback who gives you the best of both worlds. He is by far the league's most aggressive thrower, but he does so on target and without turnovers. He's the league's best at extending plays, but he also avoids sacks at an alarmingly low rate. In other words, he does things that should be risky, but manages to avoid them.
Patrick rolling left. Again, buying the time, and now back in the end zone.
As a result, he's dominated every other signal caller on 3rd down in a way that is both visible on film and quantifiable in the numbers. Mahomes' football legacy is becoming clearer by the day. Longtime quarterback coach Daniel Aguilar sees it before practice in San Antonio. Jeff Trickey notices it at his quarterback camps in Wisconsin. Rod Stahlbaumer sees it in his yard, where his son and neighborhood friends fling sidearm passes on the run or try to throw across their body and do the no-look stuff. All of them see kids consciously or unconsciously imitating a quarterback who will shape the sport for years to come. Since becoming a full-time starter in 2018, Mahomes has wowed the NFL. He's astounded not only with gaudy numbers and unlikely comebacks, but also with otherworldly throws that many of his positional predecessors would never attempt. His back foot bombs and no-look passes became an instant sensation. They call them off-platform throws. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, among others, have been similarly inventive and daring, but what sets him apart is the impact impact he's had. According to interviews and emails with coaches and players from all over the amateur football landscape, the quarterback position is being Mahomesified. It's led by an MVP whose relatable personality and exuberance makes him extremely popular with kids. YouTube is also a driving force. Mahomes' greatest hits are available more than once a week. They can be found at any time and on repeat in unofficial compilations with hundreds of thousands of views. The most talented and young players then take what they see back to their backyard or middle school practice. Role models dictate a lot of what kids want to emulate at all levels of youth sports or high school sports, Tricky says. The dynamic is much broader than football. It's why young soccer players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Megan Rapinoe celebrate goals. It's how Steph Curry and his three-point shooting forever changed basketball. The challenge, according to coaches, is ensuring that Mahomes changes football for the better rather than the worse. Some people are concerned that his success will be misinterpreted. Kids will start scampering wildly 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and launching risky throws they can't complete. Counterproductive tendencies will be encouraged and fundamentals will be jeopardized. Sean Martin, the head coach of Raymore Peculiar High School in Missouri, recalled an incident. He saw a throw that violated just about every traditional rule of quarterbacking, and then he overheard a quarterback coach tell the offender, "Don't ever throw the ball like that again." However, many coaches are embracing the trend. What was once forbidden is now being forgiven, says Maryland-based quarterback trainer Chris Bauschup. In fact, it is being taught in many cases. Mahomes has changed how quarterbacks think. The most common misconception is that Mahomes' brilliance is unplanned.
Gary didn't get there. Pass caught.
The reality is that every highlight reel throw has been obsessively practiced for years. Mahomes even started using no-lookers at Texas Tech in 2015 as a way to move defenders and open passing lanes with his eyes. Everything Mahomes does has a method to it. Even traditionalists have realized this. Rather than complaining about it, they've incorporated it into their curricula. Terry Kopasha, a longtime QB coach in Michigan, has turned what used to be taboo throws into the Mahomes drill. Greg Jones, a high school coach who runs a quarterback academy in Missouri, has traveled the country observing other camps. He saw coaches practicing no-look passes and cross-body throws. Kopasha says Mahomes is one of the reasons he teaches young QBs to throw with a more outside angle, as opposed to the vertical delivery that's been coached in previous years. Most coaches have realized that what was once considered improper is now required in modern football. Fundamentals remain fundamental, particularly in the pocket. Off-platform throws, however, have become essential due to athletic, aggressive defenses and the run-pass option. QBs must be able to lower their arm and sneak a short pass past a defensive lineman. They must be able to throw on the run without stopping, as they have been taught for decades. In this regard, Mahomes is as much a byproduct of evolution as he is a cause of it. Even coaches who argue that the trend predates Mahomes agree that he has been a catalyst and he has redefined the QB prototype, and that he is inspiring coaches and teens alike to follow in his footsteps. That's how Mahomes has revolutionized the league, and we'll see you in the next video.